Race number 8 is going to have the shortest priced favourite of the day line up in this, and it's over the 1,000 metres. It's a Class 3 event, and there he is, Nervous Witness at the top of the book. He carries an extra £12 following his last start win over Goodview Clarico, who's the 2 horse in the book. He comes back to the 1,000 metres. He's had a race since. Stock Legend's got his best races over at Happy Valley. Cordyceps 6 makes his Class 3 debut. He's a 2-time course and distance winner. Run Cool comes back in trip from the 1,400 to the 1,000. Anea Fortune, first starter for Dennis Ship, has had 3 trials. Seizing the Moment was known as Dark Alley for Guy Lowry and Grant Cullen. He's had 2 trials. Moiraki takes a claim with Dylan Moe having 3 off, and Super Axiom race wide at Happy Valley. He has won down the outside rail on debut, Tom, and it might be the stablemates duelling up front here.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting scenario, really. Nervous Witness here with Super Axiom, who's lining up after last week's 6th at Happy Valley at the day meeting there. He was 3 wide, no cover. So it is an interesting scenario. He'll be up on the outside rail. Nervous Witness will come across from gate number 4. Whether Nervous Witness just lets him go, because we know what Super Axiom can do. He can fall in a hole late. Stock Legend, Resolute, Goodview Clarico. There are a couple of newcomers in this race. Anea Fortune to sort of be there on the far side and to seizing the moment. Gate speed there's just been okay.
Well, the man that puts all of the polish on this boom galloper Nervous Witness is David Hayes.
David, Nervous Witness, 2 wins from 2 starts so far. He panelled his opposition in both races. How do you feel about his last start?
Look, I thought it was pretty good because he got it served up to for some incredible time. They broke 20 seconds for 400 in the middle there, so showed that he's not a fast, weak horse. Hopefully it'll be slightly more leisurely because he's got the 133. That's probably the only negative, but to my eyes, improved a bit.
What was going through your mind when Brilliant Fortune did serve it up to him and they did run 19.92 there?
I didn't realise I ran 19.9, but you know, you just got to worry about your own horse, and I think he was worrying about our horse too much, and was finding out if there was a kink in his armour, which there wasn't in that race, in that class anyway.
How's he trained on since? He had a trial on the all-weather the other day over 1,050.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. You know, he wasn't out there there was no prize money on show, but he still won the trial nicely. And that just because he's had, 6 weeks between runs, just to keep him on the ball.
What's sort of the stepping stone now? It obviously doesn't have an international entry for the sprint, but supplementaries close later in the month. It's not tempting, is it?
No, I think probably run on International Day. There's a nice race for him, and that might be his first run around a bend, which will be interesting. But I think he's got plenty of time to compete internationally. He's got to get his rating up, and we'll worry about that when he's at 120.
What's sort of the stepping stone after the weekend? So obviously no entry for the international sprint, but supplementaries do close later in the month.
Yeah, I think we'll just go through our classes. When his rating's up high enough, we'll look at international races. But there's so many good races on offer here in Hong Kong going through the classes, and he's only had 2 starts. So we'll just take our time and hopefully have him running on International Day, but not in the big one.
A lot of hype around him, and you've obviously trained a number of good horses down through the years. Do you get nervous on race day with horses like him?
I sometimes get more nervous with the slower ones. The good horses always put their run up. So, I said on the day it was one of the best debut winners I've ever trained, the time he ran and the way he did it. So, it's exciting every time he runs, so looking forward to it.
Super to see him there, Tom. He's just going to be too fast for them, isn't he?
Yeah, he will be. You don't see them run 19.92 in the midsection like he did last time. And in that trial we saw as well, Zach just sort of backed off him down the side, but he asked him to do it a little bit late in that trial too. Yeah,
he's doing everything right, isn't he? And they really took him on in that last start, and he fought them all off and still won well.
No Super Axiom giant killer rolls the stablemate down the straight.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Super Axiom, he's got lots of speed, but he just has...
He wants a 9.75 race.
Yeah, he just at the end is where his problem is.
Send him back to Donald or somewhere in Victoria, Swan Hill. OK, we move on to Cordyceps 6 here. Paul, he's done a good job, but he comes up in grade this week.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a good run from him. He had to come off heels. Smart idea, ran a really good race, that runner-up here at Happy Valley on Wednesday night as well. So, look, it was a good run. He was a little bit green, if anything. He ran around a bit, but look, he's a 2-time winner from his 5 starts now, so he's only had the limited run, and I thought he won with a bit in hand here.
He wanted to pose for the photo in both of those wins now, but I thought he was probably next best in this lineup. He'll be a few lengths, I feel, behind Nervous Witness, but just the way he's been winning them, and I thought he trialled quite nicely coming into this too.
On trials, 2 first starters here, Tom. No Fortune is the first we're going to have a look at. What have you made of him so far?
Hood and Tongue Tie on here. He had 4 runs in New Zealand. He was actually pulled up in one of those runs. He ran off on the home turn at Te Rapa and then was second after that at Trentham. Jumped well enough in that trial, and he really rallied late here to win this trial late in the piece over Classic Unicorn. Sort of looked like he was paddling here, Paul, but the 50 metres, he really hit his straps.
Yes, I've got him in a minor line as well. I think it drops away a little bit after Nervous Witness and that, so look, he goes in for me.
And the next one we're going to have a look at is Seizing the Moment. This one's up at Chung Fa Bull.
Yeah, so I didn't mind him either. He's at No Fortune's 1144 pounds. This one's 1,089. Seize the Moment, and he's had 2 trials to get him ready. Look, I thought it was a nice trial from him as well. So by Per and Canto, they seem to be going pretty well up here in Hong Kong. So look, he's included.
He had 2 wins in New Zealand. He was trained by Guy Lowry and Grant Cullen. He got to the line okay there. He's had a left front fetlock injury, which has just been hindering him a little.
You thought very hard about making Nervous Witness your best bet, Paul.
Well, looking at the price, yeah, like he's going to be tough to beat, isn't he? But look, he should win the way he's been going, everything being equal. He's on top. Cordyceps 6, danger for me. And then the 2 first starters, and have Fortune and Seizing the Moment. 1, 6, 9 and 10.
Can't argue with that. Same 4 numbers, 1, 6, 9 and 10. Nervous Witness clearly on top. Cordyceps 6, Any of Fortune, Seizing the Moment. Outside of that, you've got Good View Clarico is good down the straight, but he's been a little bit out of sorts last start. Stock Legend, a Happy Valley Horse Fantasy, he's got issues, so it drops right away. There's 1, 6, 9 and 10.
He's early price Nervous Witness. For reference, on Sunday is 1 the win and 1.4 for the place. Zach Purton, of course, on board, the favourite for David Hayes.